Hello and welcome to the Autocar Show. Meet the E63 AMG. Now, this is where all the action is in this car. It's got 557 bhp, it's got 73 kgm of torque, which comes in really low and goes all the way to about 5,000 RPM. I could have taken this car on a long test drive, put it in a beautiful location, told you all about it. Nah, when you have something like this, the only place to put it is out on a track, and that's exactly where I am at the Buddh International Circuit. We're gonna have some fun. We had Buddh Circuit all to ourselves, so it was me, the track, the car, and that meant there was quite a bit of this. The fast-flowing track has huge runoff areas, and this allows you to really turn the screws and push to the limit. It lets you test everything the car can really do. Leaving the pit lane, jamming my foot down on the throttle, the quad pipes started up their orchestra. Unfortunately, the sound of this engine, a bit muted and too far away, it doesn't give you that thrilling feel. But stomping on the pedal is definitely thrilling, as it sends the E63 AMG leaping like a leopard on its prey. It's a powerful, effortless and endless leap, as the surge of torque is constant from 1750 till 5250 RPM. The rev needle sprints towards the 6,400 RPM red line hungrily. And AMG claim a 4.2 second 0 to 100. Our V-Box got a 4.5 second, which was pretty darn good considering the 36-degree temperature that day. Well, it's a typical mark because I'm doing 220 down this straight and I just don't feel it at all. It feels like I'm going about 100 or so. It's like having Queen Elizabeth with the heart of Madonna, if you know what I mean. Perfect manners on the surface, but wild and naughty underneath. And with the ESP off, you can get it to do a little bit of tail-out action as well. On the track, the best setting was holding the ESP button for about 3 seconds or so, and this frees up the 557 horses under the hood. Switch the dampers into stiffest and have the gearbox in Sport Plus. As an alternative, of course, there's the AMG button. With just one touch, it sets the car into a sports mode for you to drive around the track, which is exactly what I'm doing. Although the chassis has a certain amount of understeer, you can really enjoy this car. The electrically assisted steering allows you to really hug the corners and is pretty precise. Although it takes a little getting used to, which is what I found out, sliding this Merc around. Being on a racetrack in a car that was not mine meant my responses were a bit measured. My heart is telling me to slow down, so I'm braking before the braking point, but I have to say the brakes are good and you feel really confident to carry a lot of speed round into the corner and brake hard right at the end. But after a few laps, the E63 lets you go to your limits. It just inspires that kind of confidence. Remember, just be smooth and measured with the steering or the throttle, and it all comes together and settles into a great rhythm. That's until you shift into manual mode on the gearbox. But the track actually allows it to expose some of its flaws as well. It waits on the upshift a bit, especially if you put it to the red line. If you shift a little before the red line, it's fine. But if you pull all the way to the red line, it waits on the upshift, and even the downshifts are a little slow to come. It's a 7-speed gearbox that's responsive. Use the paddles in manual mode and it will be very obedient. It will hold the gears till it receives direction from you. The Gearbox 2 has 4 modes: Comfort, Sport, Sport Plus and Manual. And the big difference between the modes is the speed of the gear shifts. So the E63 AMG is a remarkable track tool. But is it still a Merc? Well, it seats 5 and the ride quality is surprisingly comfortable for daily duties. Well, the typical Merc layout, but it's got this nice carbon fiber finish and it's got the Alcantara leather, nice sporty steering. But what I really like is the seat, because you can set it here onto dynamic mode, and then unfortunately I can't show the motion to you right now, but when you're cornering, the sides of the seats, when you're really cornering hard, come in to bolster you and hold you in your place. And that feels just great. It has all the features and trappings of the regular E-Class. It also has a reverse camera, the rear seat entertainment, 8 airbags and a multifunction steering with paddles as standard. On the outside, a slightly meaner look, especially those quad pipes at the back. The front has the 4-eyed LEDs, the twin-blade grille and the stylized A-wing, which is a trademark of AMG vehicles. The A-wing, painted in the car's exterior colors, is the backdrop for the 3 air intake openings. There's also a new 3-dimensional deflector that spans the front, presenting that stylized A. Of course, there's the V8 biturbo insignia that doesn't let us forget that this is a monster under the hood. It's quick and it's a whole load fun to drive. How much does all of that thrill cost you? Well, 1.29 crores ex-showroom Delhi. Now that's expensive and it's in serious sports car territory. But let's look at it practically. In India, sports cars, not highly practical, and of course a lot of families opposed to having just those 2 seats. Here's something that will give you 5 seats, carry all your luggage, and it will offer you that kind of thrill to drive.